Alperen Şengün leads the Rockets to a win over the OKC Thunder. Let's talk about it. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Summit State of Mind, presented to you by the Apollo Podcast Network. In this episode, we're going to discuss the Rockets versus Thunder review, Alperen Şengün playing like a 10-year vet, Jabari Smith, the consistent secret weapon, and we're going to preview Rockets versus Nuggets again. I'm, of course, joined by the GM, Justin. GM, straight into it right now, Rockets versus Thunder review. The Houston Rockets defeated the OKC Thunder 110-101. Home cooking continues. 9-1 at home. Every single win we have garnered have been at home.
Yeah.
We defeat the second seed the second seed OKC Thunder, led by one Alperen Şengün, led by Dillon Brooks, led by bench play, and a very surprising Aaron Holiday. How we feeling so far about that game?
Hey, man, it was nice to see. It was nice to see us come home and get our swagger back, like we stated. What was the score? It was like 110-101.
It was 110-101.
I predicted, 108-96 or something like that?
You did.
It was close, relatively close. It wasn't a double-digit victory, but it was right around what I expected in terms of the offensive output for the Rockets. Everyone played very well. Tari Eason, again, making strides, getting more minutes, making himself basically a disturbance on the defensive end against Oklahoma City. Aaron Holiday being the biggest surprise, scoring 22 points, 6 of 7 from 3. That man was on fire.
Give it to him. Give it to him. He played really well. He earned closing minutes. He earned closing minutes.
He also earned himself a nice little holiday. Wink, JK.
Well, I said it in my tweet. Christmas came a little early for Aaron Holiday.
Touche.
So,
but yeah, I mean, overall, the team played very well. The defense, amazing. The defense was amazing. They held Chet Holmgren to 4 points last night?
Yeah, he only had 4 points.
He did not play well
2 of 9
at all. He was not good last night. The Rockets were so effective against Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, we got 4 points
impressive.
on 2 of 9 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3. I mean, it was bully ball all around, which was one of my keys here. Is that Alperen Şengün? One of my keys to beating OKC was going to be Alperen Şengün and his play over Chet Holmgren. But it's not just that, though. It's also the totality of whoever was going to guard Chet Holmgren, whether it was going to be an Alperen Şengün, whether it was going to be a Jabari Smith Jr. We knew that they were going to take turns. Dillon Brooks could make the switch if need be. He's strong as an ox. We knew kind of how that rotation was going to work in terms of defense.
Yeah.
They planned their defense to basically bully Chet Holmgren in the paint, knock him out of the paint, make him be purely an outside player. He shot 4 threes. He missed all 4.
Yeah.
And the key, at least to the very beginning of the game, was to stop Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's, SGA, and to let Josh Giddey be a 3-point shooter. And which they did. I mean, he hit 2 threes at the start, and that was basically it.
Essentially,
He didn't play very well. Alperen Şengün, the gameplay overall, like his play was really great. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 8 of 13 from the field. You're talking, he was a plus 12, the best in the plus minus category for the Houston Rockets. This is a very underrated stat line for players that were guarded, for OKC players that were guarded by Alperen Şengün. So he could have been guarding a Chet Holmgren or any of the players that he was guarding. OKC players were held to 4 of 19 shooting. 4 of 19 shooting when Alperen Şengün was guarding him. By far, statistically speaking, his best defensive game of his career in terms of percentage and giving up those buckets. Only giving up 4 out of 19. That is insane, dude. It goes to show the growth of this player, one Alperen Şengün, and home cooking being completely viable, being an absolute real thing, and leading the charge towards victory. Because Aaron Holiday did get hot, specifically in the second half. He hit 6 threes. Wow, incredible stuff. But Alperen Şengün just kind of continuing to be that engine. He started the game. He put Chet Holmgren in the popcorn machine at one point.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, it was an absolutely great game. I do want to talk about a couple things in particular. One that we obviously just talked about, the Alperen Şengün, but what stood out to me also was Jalen Green to a degree. He had a really hot start. I loved what Ime Udoka said In the pregame, it was shout outs to Lashard Binkley, friend of the show. He was in media and he asked Ime Udoka a question basically saying, upon challenging Jalen Green, Ime, when asked what is the key for Jalen Green to become more consistent, that it's not just home but being on the road, the consistency for the totality of the season, Ime stated for him it is not to take a back seat regardless of who is on the court. So when he's here at home and he's sleeping in his own bed, it seems that he seems to be playing better. That was the joke, hometown heroes uniform and Jalen Green just seemed to go hand in hand. Another hot start for Jalen Green. Overall, I mean, it was nothing. It wasn't a huge game statistically speaking. He only had 15 points, but he had 7 boards, 6 of 12 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3 overall. What were your what was your take in regards to at least, one, Jalen Green being more aggressive at home, but tend to not being as aggressive on the road?
I'll say this. I liked the amount of, of how aggressive he was in terms of handling the ball. Granted, he turned the ball over quite a few times. I could probably count in 2 hands how many times he was stripped. Jalen Green could have done better.
He had 3 turnovers.
Only 3. It felt like 6, frankly.
Yeah. So he had 3 turnovers.
There was quite a few moments of where he was stripped. It just seemed like he could never get a good handle in terms of his handling. We always stated that we wanted him to get a little tighter in terms of his handles. We've always wanted him to play a bit more aggressively, but I liked the start to the game. The rest of the game left a little bit more to be desired. 15-7 is still pretty good considering the rebounding. He was very attentive on the boards. You can see him and Jabari were both very active. We'll touch on Jabari later.
Wait, can we actually? Yeah, can I? Oh my gosh!
Well, hold on. Let me finish my thought.
Okay, all right, Skip.
Overall, Jalen played decently to start. He even got his lob, which everyone has been absolutely clamoring for, from Fred VanVleet. And then to touch on the topic prior, Alp, his best defensive game of the year. It was very impressive. He looked very calm. And the thing about it was that to me, it seemed like he was a bit more disciplined on the defensive end, minus a mistake or two. But granted, everyone had a mistake. Let's not get it twisted. But Alp overall played superbly well on the defensive end. I was very impressed. He kept his feet on the ground. He didn't leave his feet in certain moments. That's one of the things and one of the keys in terms of ensuring that you don't get foul calls is leaving your feet. And he probably learned a thing or two from a Dylan Brooks. Ime Udoka probably challenged him, and Alp said, "Okay, I'm up for the challenge. We're gonna make it happen," and he sure did. And he was the engine. He was the guy that made everything happen on the defensive end. And shout out to him.
Played very well.
Absolutely.
My shirt says the exact same thing.
But Kamish, let's talk about your boy. Let's talk about your son. The guy that's not on the T-shirt, Jabari Smith Jr.
I need one of these, by the way. Shouts to Game Changers.
The people need to know what your thoughts are pertaining to this young man.
Well, Jabari Smith Jr. especially, we have a whole topic regarding him. It's going to be later in the episode. But for the vacuum of this game alone, Jabari Smith, in my opinion, probably, if I could say, one of the most mature game of his career. And what I mean by that is the ability to be consistent, the ability to stay engaged in the game, and the ability to know that he does not have to score to be effective. The man only shot 4 shots. I said this when I tweeted this on my Twitter. I said this was very much a Dennis Rodman-like stat line. Mm-hmm. He only had 6 points. But he had 18 rebounds, a career high for one Jabari Smith Jr.
In 32 minutes.
18 rebounds. I have never seen him fight harder for boards. Like, he was wrestling it away from his own teammates. Like, it got to a point where I was like, this is it. Mm-hmm. This is the Jabari I need to see.
The man wanted it.
And it's not just aggression. And the thing is, when you talk about aggression, playing with an aggressiveness, there's a multitude of facets when you talk about playing aggressive. You can play aggressive on the offensive side of the court, attacking, shooting threes, being confident. That's typically when you play aggressive. Yep. You can play aggressive defensively, switches, playing man, playing aggressive against your opponent. But there's also an aggression in terms of boxing out, rebounding, fighting for boards, even when it's your own teammate. Yeah. I've never seen Jabari more hungry for boards than last game. the model of what he has presented here has been insane, and we're gonna talk about the totality of the season later. However, just for this game alone, it just kind of to show the maturity of what he is. He only attempted 4 shots, still shot 50% from the field, 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3. He knows that these shots are good. They're going to come his way at some point. I really believe it. It just wasn't meant for him this game. It's a very lengthy OKC team, and they were kind of walling him. And I noticed too when they actually kind of started doubling him when he would get into the post, because they knew they would kind of push him into the corner and then kind of force him to either shoot a fadeaway or pass out. I noticed that. So their teams are starting to pick up now on his post up and his face up game in the midi. So that is something to look at when you talk about teams that we play going forward.
Yeah.
However, Jabari's play was absolutely superb. Top-notch defense on Josh Giddey, top-notch defense on Chet Holmgren, top-notch defense on SGA. Jabari Smith, I mean, I think at this point he's earned it. I think he should be getting more shots.
Yeah.
But I think the totality of this game alone shows 6 points, a career high 18 rebounds. This guy has absolutely earned his stripes. One of the most consistent players on the team, and we freaking need it because the young players that we're counting on the vets to kind of like lead us there, right? Alperen Sengun has been, in my opinion, the most consistent player of the entire season, but Jabari just trailing right behind him. That's huge. We need that from our young guys. We need them slowly taking the next step. Alp was kind of leading the charge for the young guys, and then Jabari falling right behind him. I need Jalen to kind of reach that. I need Jalen to reach that consistency along with the other two. Yeah. And I think once he reaches his consistency, I'm telling you all right now, there's going to be a win streak on the works. Road wins are going to come after, and we're going to, absolutely build something great. Dude, can we spotlight Aaron Holiday? My gosh. Dude,
yeah.
Let's spotlight Aaron Holiday. Man had 22 points, 6 of 7 from 3, 8 of 13 from the field. Low key, like, Amen Thompson going down, you don't want to see it. He's the number 4 overall pick. You don't want to ever see him go down. But Aaron Holiday's become a revelation now. Like, he's become, like, a revelation for this team, and he may have just solidified his spot as that backup starter. GM, thoughts on one Aaron Holiday from his performance last game? Pretty much led us to victory.
I think Aaron Holiday has proven that he was a legitimate signing, A. B, he has shown that he is still a good player in this league and that he's more than capable of being a backup point guard. And C, some Rocket fans might not want to hear this, but he might have upped his trade value as well, depending on what the Rockets are looking for at the deadline.
Well, I think that's a good solid point. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they need to look at everything.
They signed him as a third point guard, anticipating that Amen Thompson would be the guy to back up Fred VanVleet. And unfortunately, Amen Thompson got hurt. Shout out to Amen Thompson as well. Had a triple-double in the G League for RGV. Him and Cam Whitmore had a great game.
Yeah, watch G League basketball.
But we're not going to touch on that today. Aaron Holiday killed it. I mean, absolutely killed the game, man. 22 points, 6 of 7 from 3. You can't say enough to how well he shot last night. Even the commentators like Craig Ackerman and Ryan Hollins were saying, like, don't shoot anything inside three-point line now. Let's just say it outside three-point line, 6 of 7. That pretty much says it all. It shows how effective he's been just as a calming piece in terms of what he brings to the lineup, whether it's to back up or whether he is closing. Sometimes what happens is with like last night, Ime Udoka rode with Aaron Holiday over Jalen Green. And the one thing I do love about Ime Udoka is that he's going to ride the hot hand no matter what. And I respect it, and I love it. It's a learning experience for Jalen, and it's a great experience for Aaron Holiday. It gives him the opportunity to seize the moment and close a game. And sure enough, he did. I can't say enough. You just cannot say enough about what Aaron Holiday has brought to the table for Houston. There wasn't been much of a drop-off. There could have been even more. This is the kind of production that, we're not anticipating out of Amen. Neither were we thinking about that for Aaron, but Aaron has shown that the man can shoot the ball consistently to help us gain some points off the bench because, to be frank, our bench is a little weak in terms of scoring, and Aaron Holiday certainly picked that up in a way that we really, really needed it against a deep Oklahoma City Thunder. So kudos again to Aaron Holiday. played so well last night, and well deserved. Couldn't have come for a better guy, honestly.
Absolutely. And then I think another person that deserves flowers as well is the high scorer of the game, which was Dylan Brooks, probably the quietest 23 points.
Man played almost 40
that
minutes.
you'll ever see. Yeah, played almost 40 minutes. I mean, it was hard-nosed basketball, 9 of 17 from the field, only 2 of 7 from 3. He had four rebounds, 2 assists, but just his dog, the inner dog to succeed in these moments. Dylan Brooks has been everything that we needed and then some. I wanted to give flowers to him because even though he shot 2 of 7 from 3, he is still averaging, GM, 42% from 3 for the season.
42%?
42%
Dylan,
from 3
I am
for the season.
Still beyond impressed at how well you played.
It's holding. I knew he was shooting 60 at one point 5 or 6 games of the season. He was the number 1 3-point shooter percentage-wise.
Yeah.
But the fact that, he dropped off, but he only dropped off by 18%. He is still 42%. It is holding.
Yeah.
We are 18 games in the season, and we're almost 20 in.
Yep.
And that 42% is holding. I want to give him his flowers. I want to give a shout-outs to Dylan Brooks. I know it's been kind of tough to talk about him.
Definitely.
Because we tend to spotlight on other players, but we don't forget about you, Dylan Brooks. He's been an absolute stud. Locking down two-way player. If you're looking at two-way player in the dictionary right now in 2023, you got to look at Dylan Brooks.
Yeah,
he's absolutely earned it.
I mean, he has shown time and time again what kind of player he is and what he's bringing to the table for Houston. He is exactly what Ime Udoka wanted in terms of a player to bring toughness, not just personality-wise, but on the wing, in the post, wherever his number is called. Dylan Brooks is there, just like G.I. Joe, baby.
Oh my gosh.
But
wow.
I mentioned it in the last episode that Dylan Brooks is probably the most important player on this team. We wouldn't be where we are without him on this team.
I agree.
And
I agree.
23 points out of Dylan Brooks is a consolation prize. Him holding the wings to low scoring, SGA may have scored 33 points last night, but Dylan Brooks did a pretty good job on SGA. He shut him down in the whole first
SGA
half.
is one of the top players in the
He's
NBA.
an MVP candidate.
He's an MVP candidate.
Based on MVP ladder rankings, SGA is up there. So Dylan Brooks has shown time and time again what kind of player he is on the defensive end. But when he scores 23 points, goes 9 to 17 from the field, that is merely just icing on the cake for what Dylan Brooks brings to the table, because we don't need that. You don't need him to score 23
Definitely
points.
don't need it, no.
And I'm still okay if he scores 8 to 10. That's perfectly fine. But 23 points, hey man, you deserve your flowers. You killed it. As you can see the way that he was driving into the paint aggressively and getting layups in the paint. What was his 9 of 17 from the field? So he was 7 for 10 inside the 3-point line.
Yep.
So that shows that he was being very efficient in his drives. He even posted up a few players in certain instances.
Well, that's the thing, and I think that's probably what I would think is that for Dylan Brooks is anytime there's a small player on him, and same goes for Alperen Şengün, if there's a switch and they have a smaller player on them, you can take them. There's 3 guys that I want them to take advantage. I want it to be Alperen Şengün, Dylan Brooks, and Jabari Smith. If there's a smaller guy on you, if there's a smaller guy, if there's a mouse in the house,
absolutely.
That's why that's old school basketball. When there's a switch and you have a smaller guy on you, mouse in the house, and you throw it to him, and then they dump it to him in the post and let them create. I think Dylan's earned that right to be like that third guy. We know Jabari's going to get it. We know that Alpi should definitely get it, which they missed a couple of times, by the way, which I want to touch up on in the next segment. But yeah, I agree 100%. Dylan Brooks deserves his flowers. GM, let's move on now. Alperen Şengün. Let's spotlight Alperen Şengün. It's almost like an Alperen Şengün watch. Just because we're getting closer to that ballot opening up.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to that ballot opening up. We're getting closer to in-season, the season for All-Stars. So we're trying to get him in. Numbers are still holding up across the board, averaging 21 points a game, averaging 5.6 assists, 9 rebounds, about a steal a game, 1 block a game, 2.6 turnovers a game, 54% from the field. So that number is still holding. About 30% from 3, 64% obviously from the free throw line, which we would probably need to fix there to bring that up just a little bit. However, spotlight Alperen Şengün playing like a 10-year vet. There's no excuse why a guy like this in his 3rd year in the league. The man's only 20. Can I bring something to the table for you? Chet Holmgren is playing only in the 2nd year of his career technically, but he's technically a rookie this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alperen Şengün. Okay, so let's put that on the table. So he's only So let's think about it like this. Chet Holmgren is in the second year of his career technically. First year as rookie, he was injured all of last year. Okay? Alperen Şengün has played as a pro since he was 16 in Turkey, known as the third most competitive basketball league in the world. Turkey. Shouts to all my Turkey listeners that have stayed and listened to regards to that. Shouts to y'all because y'all have an insane league over there. Great league. Ranked third best in the world, with America being number 1. He's been playing since he was 16. He's in the third year in the NBA. Third year in the NBA. Kicker. He is still younger than Chet Holmgren.
Crazy. That's
He's
insane.
20. He's played 5 or 6 years pro, essentially.
Yeah.
He may have played like 4 to 5 years pro, and he is still 20 years old. Like, what are we doing?
That's
this
crazy.
dude has been playing like and in his third year, these numbers are holding. And he is bullying most of the players he's playing against. He bullied Chet Holmgren last night. When are we going to start realizing that Alperen Şengün is I mean, he's something special. Like, he has to be considered something special here. Think about it. Like I said, the numbers hold up for themselves. Chet Holmgren only playing in his second year, first year as a rookie, and yet he's still older than Alperen Şengün. Putting all those thoughts in your mind, GM. What are we thinking overall? Have we shifted, changed a little bit on Alperen Şengün on our thought process? What are we thinking so far?
Well, I mean, Alp has played like an all-star all year. Like we stated earlier, he has been the engine of this team. The offense runs through him. You can see it. Ime Udoka has completely trusted Alp in terms of decision-making on the floor. He's probably touching the ball at almost every possession. He's the one who makes the decisions in terms of where the ball will be placed, whether it's a shooter or, the second pass leading to the assist. Alp has been the dude. 21, 9, and 6 is very impressive, especially at the age of 20. He was an MVP of the Turkish League at 18.
You know what? I'm curious now what Jokic's numbers were in his third year of his career. So keep
I
talking.
mean, yeah.
You keep talking. I'm gonna look this up.
Based on what I've seen, I believe they're comparable.
I think they're very comparable.
But Alp,
I'm just curious.
I've stated it before. He was an all-star, and that was the anticipation. I believe it's probably going to happen. I don't know how many times we've seen in multiple podcasts, like Podcast P, Paul George, Pat Beverly's podcast, people are saying like who the future face of the league is, and Pat Bev had 5 faces that were going to be the future of the league. And
hit me. I don't know this. Hit me with the 5 faces.
Man.
Well, do you know the 5 faces?
Tyrese Halliburton,
Okay.
Anthony Edwards. I forgot who the third one was, but
Is Luka on the table on that?
I don't know. Future. I don't know if Luke is considered future. He's already pretty established. Number 4 was Alp. Number 5 was Jalen Duren. Okay.
Okay.
So there's 5 players that Pat Bev listed as the future, and Tyrese Halliburton is definitely a guy that you can see as the future. Like, that was not what I anticipated. Anthony Edwards is definitely up there, but Alp is a guy that is definitely glamorized in terms of NBA players that love watching the game. Alperen Şengün is one that is loved by everybody.
I think true basketball heads can appreciate what Alp
people
brings
love
to
him,
the table.
and I believe that it's a wonderful thing. It's a good pub for Houston. Houston needs it, and Alp is and he's a charismatic personality. For those that have interviewed him, for people that see,
just seems like a good dude.
He seems like a nice guy.
He just seems like a good dude.
And I think that
he's a good dude.
When you're likable and you perform like that, people tend to root for you.
They'll gravitate to you.
Absolutely. So I think that with his personality and what he brings and how he plays, like, it's completely changed the whole look of what the Houston Rockets bring, in addition with Ime Udoka and the veterans. So, hey, man, Alp, star, absolutely. That's how he's played.
All-star as well.
I said it, yeah.
Nikola Jokic on the third year of his career averaged 18 points, 10 rebounds, so that's pretty high, 6 assists. Comparable. Definitely comparable. Because Alperen Şengün right now is at 21-9 and 6. This is comparable stats. Dare I say slightly more superior stats. He's hovered 57% from the field for Nikola Jokic in 39%. No, sorry. I'm reading. Oh my gosh, I'm keep reading. 39% from 3, 49% from the field. Alperen Şengün's averaging 54% from the field.
But he's shooting, 31% from
31% from 3.
Yeah.
So these are comparable stats, guys. And it's something to look forward into the future, the NBA, the Houston Rockets, count your blessings. We got a fucking stud on the Rockets, and once again, shout outs to all of our Turkey listeners that have been listening to us. Like, you guys, thank you for producing. So for producing Alperen Şengün and bringing him on the Rockets.
Yeah.
I truly believe he's earned his place on the team as not just a staple, but as a true cornerstone for the movement of the team. Like, he's a non-trade. He's a non-trade for me. I would hold on to him for the future. Like, I wouldn't even talk. Like, he is, what is it called? Your non-trade list? Your full non-trade list.
He's like the no trade clause guy.
Yeah, he's the guy that I wouldn't trade for. Like, he's off the
He's
there's
off the
nothing.
table.
There's really. It's hard. I don't want to put
Unless they offered you like Anthony Edwards,
right? And even then, like I entertained the conversation, but I don't know if I'd go through with it. So, absolutely earned and very well deserved. All right, GM, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. Look, let's. At the very beginning of the season, a lot of people, including myself, I wasn't bashing, but I was a stern talker to my son. I want to talk about one Jabari Smith Jr. Where I'm calling him now, and it may be too many words. I don't think you can put that on a t-shirt, but the consistent secret weapon. And when I mean by that is that Jabari Smith has been, when I said earlier in the episode, with Alperen Şengün being like a model of consistency throughout the entire season, falling right behind him, in my opinion, Jabari Smith Jr. In his last 15 games, Jabari Smith has averaged 13 points a game, 8.6 rebounds, half a steal, 1 block, 41% from 3. Kicker, ladies and gentlemen, 89% from the free throw line. A 64.7% true shooting percentage.
Yeah,
that is one of the highest ends in the entire NBA from the last 15 games. You are absolutely looking. Now, you take away the first 3 games of the season where we did not play well. He played like absolute dog water. We can all assume that. I will recognize that. However, my key to the season for the Rockets being successful was going to be Jabari Smith being the ultimate weapon X for this team. He's averaging 41% from 3. I said if he can average between 38 to 39%, we have a shot at the 6th seed. We have a shot. He's exceeded expectations. He's averaging 41% from 3. Dog and upped himself up as a defender, has stayed engaged in the game, has been scoring well when he's had opportunities. I have an opinion on that. I'm going to let the GM talk first. However, spotlight one Jabari Smith Jr., who has absolutely earned his flowers at this point. We don't get to 9-9 without him. How are you feeling overall after those stats about one Jabari Smith?
The thing that I'm impressed with the most for Jabari is that he's done whatever the team has called upon for whatever's needed.
Literally.
Whether it's guarding the best perimeter player when Dylan Brooks is out, getting as many rebounds as possible, being a ball magnet like Dennis Rodman on the boards, shooting in the mid-post when the opportunities presented itself and the offense is sputtering, making threes at opportune times, and just playing solid defense overall. Jabari Smith Jr. has been extremely impressive.
I mean, he's been a revelation for a lot of these.
I've been very impressed with his game and just the way he's performed for this team, especially under Ime Udoka. I'm not saying everybody, sorry. A lot of people had their doubts about the young man coming into the season and how his performance was. And the first 3 games did him no favors. But the last 15 games in terms of consistency, performance,
it's most of the season.
It's been huge. Yeah. And I mean,
literally.
You've only played 18 games total.
So 15.
So from the looks of it, it seems like Jabari Smith Jr. has found his niche, not just on, the offense or the defensive end, but on this team in general.
Found his spot.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I'm so impressed with his maturity and just being able to carry on, whether it is he's called upon to score, be the best defender, grab as many boards, do whatever is needed for the team. And he's just been an ultimate team player. He hasn't been complaining. Granted, we've seen some, arguments, little spats between him and LP on the floor in terms of defensive
But
rotations.
I like that. That's good.
I like the fire.
That's
good. Everybody
Okay.
not everybody. I'm going to say this. People that have played the sport of basketball understand that arguments happen on the floor with your teammates. That happens. That fire is necessary. If you've played sports in any form of competitive fashion,
I'm guilty of
you
that.
understand that teammates get frustrated with each
I'd
other.
like to apologize
And
to all my teammates that I've played with that I've yelled at.
it's fine.
All my teammates.
But yeah, not except one maybe. But
Hey, dog, you got to play defense, but I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
anyways,
I'm kidding. Go on.
hey man, I make threes. I do what I do.
It's true.
But
Go on.
just overall, Jabari Smith Jr. has been so impressive. And I think Rockets fans are beginning to grasp the capabilities of what this young man brings to the table. So, I think what we need to do is to understand that this man is a Swiss Army knife of talent. And what he presents to this team, he's capable of so many things. And honestly, what I think Ime needs to do really is we need to find him more opportunities in the mid post when he's got the smaller guys, he's got the mouse in the house. I think that we really need to do something about taking advantage of those moments. I think that we're doing Jabari Smith Jr. an actual disservice when we're not giving him opportunities to score.
I think he's
in the
earned
mid post.
it.
He's
Thank
been
you.
nearly automatic.
It's been literally automatic.
I just think that
How do you not give him more
offense
shots?
How
do you not give him more shots?
I
I'm sorry.
agree.
That's
I
my
agree.
only critique
I agree.
right now.
I agree.
How could you not give Jabari more shots?
I just think that Jabari has earned his spot in terms of getting more shots up in the mid post, and I think Ime is starting to see now where Jabari needs to where he needs to place Jabari in order to him to succeed on the offensive end. So, I mean, overall, dude, Jabari, you're just a DAWG dog.
Yeet. Yeah. Did you yeet with me? Did you yeet at the same
It was
time?
a half eat.
I know. You were yeet.
Yeet.
There it is. Yeet. I need DJ here. DJ, we miss you. We'll see DJ in the next episode or 2 episodes from now. He's coming soon, guys, I promise. But to put a little bow on it, I think I agree with you 100%. I think we need to get Jabari more shots. I think he's earned it. Mm-hmm. I think it's more along the lines of like they're doing anything that like I love what you said, GM, in regards to him being a Swiss Army knife of talent. Absolutely. It's like, hey, we need you to rebound. Okay, well, fucking rebound. I'll get a career high. Hey, we need you to shoot a couple. We need you to shoot threes. Okay, that's fine. 41% from three. We need you to play defense. Oh, okay, I'll lock you up as well. My defense has improved. Like, he has been doing everything that's been asked of him. We need you to shoot mid-range shots. High percentage from mid-range. We need you to, get buckets in the paint. We can get buckets in the paint too. We need you to guard the best player. I can do that too. They've literally asked him to do anything, and he's done it. People tend to forget he's in the second year of his career. One of the youngest players in the NBA. And he's playing out of his freaking mind. And he's only averaging 13 points a game. And I know it's not going to stand out.
Yep.
But it's almost becoming like, it's weird. It's almost like it's more superior than Shane Battier stat-wise. Mm-hmm. But it's like almost like he's kind of falling in those cracks of like, man, people tend to forget that he's really good.
Yeah.
Like, Shane Battier will never get enough love for being that guy. I think I'm not comparing those two by any means at all. I think Jabari is a vastly superior offensively more talented player. But Shane Battier being an absolutely more superior defensive-minded player. I mean, that's fine. They all both outrank each other. I'm just saying in terms of being underrated. Yeah. Being underrated as players. People tend to forget about Jabari Smith. They're so focused on Jalen Green. A lot of people are focused on Alperen Şengün. Mm-hmm. People are focused on FVV, obviously, and Dylan Brooks for for defense and being a dog and controversies here and there.
Yeah.
Jabari Smith kind of falls under the cracks. Give him flowers one time. Clap it up. Jabari, I need my son to continue playing this well.
My boy.
I need this. I need it for the culture. Do it for Pops. We had our talk, like I said, we went fishing after. It was a fantastic experience. I caught a little fish. Jabari caught the big bass. That's right. It was a great time. I'm lying. Let's go ahead and move on. Why do you have to look at me like that?
I'm just.
You have to look at me like that. Come on now.
I'm just merely picturing and envisioning you and Jabari Smith holding up a fish.
Oh my gosh, please don't. What the picture? Huh?
Absolutely. Huh? That's exactly what I was
I'm like this, and I'm like this. Huh? It happens. Like, it's your classic step-by-step.
We got it.
It's your classic step-by-step 90s sitcom.
Jesus.
Like photo. All right, GM, let's go ahead and move on to our last segment. Rockets versus Nuggets. First of all, I'm sick of talking about the Nuggets.
It's our 4th game against them in 19
December,
games. That's already
in the first
20. That's 20% of the games we played as against.
We have
Denver
played against Denver.
now.
I am so sick of talking about Denver, but we have to do it.
Yep.
We have to do it for the people.
Yep.
By the way, everyone, drop your score prediction right now. Rockets versus Nuggets. Who do you predict? Who's going to win? Is it going to be Rockets? Is it going to be Nuggets? Predict your high score. Predict the score of the game. So go ahead and do it right now on the comments. Drop it below on our YouTube channel. We'd love to hear from y'all before we drop our predictions. GM right here. 3 keys, final score. I know we've done this dozens of times already for them. Actually, we have. If we do 3 times 4, this will be 12 keys in total.
Yep.
So go ahead. Drop 3 keys. I feel like you should already know this.
Key number 1. I said it before and I'll say it again. Carry that swagger from Toyota Center all the way to Mile High. You guys need to carry that, and you guys need to play. Come ready to play. Be better. Be better than what you have performed on the road any game this season. This team needs to be motivated to win.
Agree.
And I believe that this team has it in them. But against Denver, the last game we played against Denver came and they understood. They understood the assignment. They were like, hey, the Rockets have been beating us. Let's show them why we're the champs. Houston hasn't won an away game. Denver is the defending champions. It smelled like a recipe for disaster, and it was. So the Rockets just need to gain their confidence, play like who they are, and just do what they do best, and that is great defense and, score in bunches, get LP in positions to pass and score, Jabari more positions to score in the midi. We needed Jalen Green third quarter game that he had the last game. Do that throughout the whole game.
Please.
And Dylan Brooks, stay on the floor. Dylan Brooks, please stay on the floor. No foul trouble. Number 2, said before, let Jokic get what he wants, but don't let anyone else beat you. Shut down everyone else, but don't allow anyone else to score. Let Jokic get his. We understand that he is a 2-time MVP. He's doing what he does, and that's it. And 3, the Rockets. Man, Rockets. We really, really need you to just turn down the turnovers, not be as sloppy, because on the road we're just not very good in terms of handling. And I think that if the Rockets can bring down the turnovers, give themselves more opportunities to score, and more opportunities to just thrive in Denver, then a win could be on the cusp for them. But we will see. But I'm going to tell you this, Ken. My final prediction is going to be 113-110. Denver takes the win. I do not believe that the Rockets are going to beat Denver. People can say that I'm a bad Rockets fan, whatever. I do think that we can win, but I'm just not sold on what we have shown against Denver on the road. Granted, against any healthy team on the road for that matter. So
fair enough.
I don't think we're going to get it just yet.
Just not going to mind it.
But we're right there.
Just not going to mind it. Yeah, I'm not going to mind what you
Sorry,
said.
guys. I know. I'm a hater. It is what
No,
it is.
you're not a hater. Calm down. Okay, I got 3 keys as well. Key number 1, I'm going to get through this quickly. Key number 1, stop the backcourt. You know what that means? Stop Jamal Murray. Stop KCP. Please. Do not give them whatever they want from the 3-point line. Do not let these two get hot. Stop the backcourt. You do that, Key. You stop those. Nikola Jokic is going to get a triple-double. He's going to get 30, triple-double. That's fine. Let him do his thing. Stop the backcourt. That's key. Big threes from KCP, big threes from Jamal Murray, and you're going to bed early. We do not want that. Stop the backcourt in all caps. Key number 2, I need a Jalen Green signature road game. Please, we need a signature game from Jalen. Get it going. Get it started early. Bring the hometown hero swagger that you've had at home. Bring it to the road. Give me a signature game that will not only catapult you, but will catapult the Houston Rockets to their first road win of the season. Key number 3, baby, just win. Just win. I'm tired. We're 0-8 on the road. We've not won a single road game of the season. Key number 3 is as simple as anything on earth. Just win.
Just 2 words.
Just win. You win one, like I've said this in past episodes, you win one, the floodgates open. We can see a road win streak. I am telling y'all, Give them one, the floodgates will open. So just win. Stop the backcourt, Jalen Green's signature road game. And number 3, just win.
Gotcha.
They can do that. They will win. Rockets will win 118. 115. My closest game of the season so far. 118 to 115.
Well, both 3-point games.
I am 9-2 in my predictions.
Even though you put 118. Yeah, but you
I said 118 to 115.
Yeah.
So Rockets will win. It's going to be very, very close. But if these keys go accordingly, you make sure that the backcourt does not get hot. You get the win, 118 to 115. The first road win of the season is going to happen this Friday. I'm ready to count it right now.
Love
GM, let's get ready to go home here. But before we do, obviously, we got to give a shout out to our favorite wing joint, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint one time. We're talking about Big City Wings. They, once again, guys, the 2 for Tuesday special, their favorite and number 1 special, only available on Tuesdays. You can buy in bone-in, you can buy in boneless. That's right, buy 1, get 1 free. You buy 5, you get 10. You buy 7, you get 14. So that is the lovely part about it. My 2 favorite flavors, I'm not Stranger Things. This is, my favorite flavors are medium, and I am a, well, you know what? So I flip back and forth. I garlic parmesan, lemon pepper. You can flip between back and forth, but I am go half and half. GM, if I remember you well enough, you're a Gold Fever guy, am I right?
I am a Gold Fever guy. There's 3 flavors that I do enjoy, but 2 of them I always tend to order that I lean towards is Gold Fever and Spicy Ranch Lemon Pepper. When I'm feeling a little bit more saucy, Mango Habanero. Challenge a boy. Love it. Give me that sweet and spicy.
Oh,
yeah.
Spicy with the lisp. I love it. Oh, and also on Saturdays, they have the Gridiron Special for only $24.99. You get 5 bone-in wings, 5 boneless wings, 5 white wings, onion rings, chili cheese waffle fries, and more. All for only $24.99 every Saturday. And make sure you go there on Sundays for NFL action, all bunch of TVs. Find your nearest Big City Wings nearest you and go enjoy some of the best wings the best wings in Houston.
Absolutely.
And a great time with your friends or family. Find your nearest Big City Wings nearest to you. Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. GM, let's get ready to go home here one time. Absolutely. For all the people. As our producer gets to go home, Q, give the people what they want. Give the people what they want.
Got you. Everyone, be sure to follow me on Twitter at JP_Mirabueno. Make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter and TikTok at Summit, SOMPOD. Follow the podcast on Instagram at Summit State of Mind _POD. And make sure to follow all of us, our people, our brothers, our family at Apollo NBA and at Apollo HOU. Make sure to super kick that subscribe button on YouTube so you can see our episodes every release, and you can watch all episodes of anything that Apollo HU releases. And 2 new podcasts from us are Zero Gravity, the NBA podcast hosted by Stoney and Josh. Josh, who's the one who writes what we learned today about the Houston Rockets. He is our Houston Rockets writer.
Oh, Houston Rockets, the Apollo Rockets beat writer. There
you go. We can call him that. That I like that name. There you go. Josh, you heard that. And Play Action Takes, the NFL podcast hosted by Stoney, Garrett, and Noah. So everyone be sure to tune into those. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to the New Orleans Pelicans. They won against the Milwaukee Bucks. They're headed to the finals of the NBA in-season tournament.
That seems like a you thing. I really don't care for
That's where we should
Let's
be.
Let's go ahead and, okay. Don't be a negative Nancy. I don't want that right now. We'll win next year. I'm not worried about it. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter as well at Summit Commit. Shoutouts to our Apollo podcast brethren that continue to kill the game outside of what the GM had just mentioned. The crown jewel of Houston Astros podcast, BTD, Beyond the Diamond. Be sure to give them your first listen for all Astros content. Shoutouts to the Apollo Texans, Off the Gridiron. Be sure to give them your first listen for all Houston Texans content. CJ Stroud is killing it, and we appreciate each and every one of y'all for making us your first listen for all Houston Rockets. Let's go ahead and end the chapter of episode 192 officially in the books now. As our producer gives us go home cue, we're going to end this episode as we end every episode with a Go Summit, Go Apollo, and please pray hands. Just win a road game. Just win a road game.
We need it.
Go Rockets. Oh, and one more thing. Hold. Watch basketball.
Yeet.
Yeet.